Let's get into this here, man. U.S. House passes $95 billion Ukraine-Israel aid package, sends to Senate. This is reported by Reuters. Just happened, man. They just passed this huge aid package for Israel and Ukraine. Mind you, nothing for American families to help deal with inflation, but they got money for other countries. The U.S. House of Representatives on Saturday, with broad bipartisan support, passed a $95 billion legislative package providing security assistance to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan over bitter objections from Republican hardliners. Oh, wow. Wow. Also rejection from the American people. But I really love how they tried to frame it, Democrats versus Republicans, even though a lot of the American people are now questioning, why are we sending so much money over to other countries when we have our own problems to deal with? The legislation now proceeds to the Democratic majority Senate, who passed a similar measure more than 2 months ago. So within the same year. They're passing out billions of dollars for people who are not American citizens. Meanwhile, Maui still hasn't recovered. Jackson, Mississippi still doesn't have clean drinking water. Neither does Flint, Michigan. And you have foundational Black Americans or the Black descendants of American slaves, ADOS, who still have not gotten their reparations. You still have folks out here who are living on the streets, and yet you have billions of dollars for other countries to go harm other people. I don't care what the reasons are. That's why you're giving the money. U.S. leaders from Democratic President Joe Biden to top Senate Republican Mitch McConnell have been urging embattled Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson to bring it up to a vote. So both sides are war hawks. Both sides don't see a war that they won't support, because they understand that they can manipulate their prospective parties into thinking that by talking like I'm talking, I'm somehow the bad guy. The Senate is set to begin considering the House-passed bill on Tuesday with some preliminary votes that afternoon. Final passage was expected sometime next week, which would clear the way for Biden to sign it into law. The bills provide $60.84 billion to address the conflict in Ukraine, including $23 billion to replenish U.S. weapons stocks and facilities, $26 billion for Israel, including $9.1 billion for humanitarian needs, and $8.12 billion for the Indo-Pacific, including Taiwan. So billions upon billions upon billions to prop up other countries, but who's propping up Portland? Who's propping up LA? Who's propping up Chicago? Who's propping up New York? Who's propping up Texas? Who's propping up Florida? Who's propping up the American people right now? That's my question. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky expressed his thanks, saying U.S. lawmakers moved to keep history on the right track. Yeah, by giving you all of the U.S. tax dollars. The vital U.S. aid bill passed today by the House will keep the war from expanding, save thousands and thousands of lives, and help both of our nations to become stronger, Zelensky said on X. Do you even somewhat believe that? I mean, let me ask you a question. When has the U.S. ever supported a war or a conflict and we were on the right side? In your lifetime. I'm not saying that it's never happened. I'm just saying in your lifetime. And how often was it that people were easily manipulated into believing something that wasn't true? How often did that happen? The problem that I have with this aid package is not so much that the aid package was done. It's the fact that it was done while also telling us, right, that you don't have money for certain things. See, I'd much rather you not give any foreign aid whatsoever. I think all the aid should be going towards the Americans. And if there's even a single homeless American, that problem should be remedied with American tax dollars and not be sent overseas. See, if I had my way, that's how I would go about it. However, it's not my way. My whole thing is, if you're gonna send the money anyways, then don't tell me that you don't have money for reparations. Don't tell me you don't have money for the homeless. Don't you tell me you don't have money to feed people. Because as I can clearly see here, you could come up with billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. You could do that quickly. No hesitation, no debates. You just take a vote and it's done. You take a vote and it's done. My question is, how come that couldn't happen for Flint, Michigan? How come that couldn't happen for Maui? How come that couldn't happen for East Palestine in Ohio? Those weren't black people. Those are white people, mostly white folks. How come they couldn't get the same amount of billions and all the care, all the help, all the speeches, all the platitudes? How come they couldn't get that? But people who are not American citizens can get billions. Why is that? Make it make sense. They tell you that it is too expensive for you to get health care and for your college to be paid for and to make sure that you're not homeless, but you got billions for other countries. I don't care how you feel about, providing, a social safety net for people. I personally believe in it. But even if you don't believe in that, right? At the very least, if you're not going to provide that, I think you should agree in principle, money should not be provided to other countries in lieu of American citizens. I'd much rather you just hand out checks. Hand out another stimulus. I mean, if you got billions of dollars to give out to other countries, hand out another freaking stimulus. But no, every time when it comes to helping the American people, these people have no problems taking a salary. They have no problems getting government-funded health care. No problems getting government-funded pensions. Because all U.S. politicians, congressmen and senators, they get that. The president, he certainly does. So they don't care about what happens to you because they understand that you're going to pay their way anyways. So while they're in office, they're gonna bend over backwards for Raytheon and Boeing and all the other defense contractors, and they're going to start proxy wars. And they're going to convince you that we must support every one of those wars. They're going to convince you of that. Same way they convinced you with Iraq, Afghanistan. They got me with that one too because I joined up. They got me, so I know. And so all the people who have no issue with this, I want you to understand when you look around in your community and you see things are lacking, understand who actually got your money. I just want you to understand that. I just want you to understand that.